Did you know there's a natural supplement that can mimic the effects of fasting and activate what scientists call the cellular youth switch? That's right. Berberine is being called the natural metformin, and it's gaining attention among doctors, researchers, and even the most hardcore biohackers who are always looking for ways to live longer and better. It activates an enzyme called AMPK, which plays a key role in processes like metabolic control, autophagy, and preventing cellular aging. But is all of this really backed by science, or is it just another passing trend in the world of natural health? Stick with me until the end of this video, because today we're going to uncover why berberine may be one of the most powerful secrets of natural longevity, and how to use it safely to get the most out of its benefits. What is berberine, and why it caught the attention of science? Berberine is a bioactive compound found in several plants, such as Berberis aristata, widely used in traditional Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine. So far, nothing too new. But what caught scientists' attention was its profound impact on cellular processes linked to metabolic health and longevity. When I started digging into this topic, I realized berberine isn't just another trendy supplement. It acts directly on a highly important metabolic pathway known as AMPK, AMP-activated protein kinase. Now, why does this matter? AMPK works like a cellular energy sensor. Think of it as an internal alarm in your cells that goes off when energy levels are low, like during fasting, for example. When activated, the body switches to optimization mode, improving glucose uptake, reducing fat production, and even stimulating cellular cleanup processes like autophagy. And here's the key point. AMPK activation is directly linked to longevity mechanisms. In other words, taking berberine is like mimicking the molecular effects of fasting and caloric restriction, two of the only scientifically proven methods to slow down aging across multiple organisms. AMPK, the guardian of energy and cellular youth. To understand why berberine is so promising, we need to talk a bit more about AMPK. This enzyme is like the master regulator of our metabolism. When a cell's energy levels drop, like during fasting, AMPK gets activated. And when that happens, it literally changes how our cells operate. It shuts down energy-wasting processes like fat production and switches on processes for cellular regeneration and repair. It's like flipping your body into maximum efficiency mode, but there's more. Studies show that AMPK also inhibits a pathway called mTOR, which is linked to aging and uncontrolled cell growth. In other words, by activating AMPK, you're helping your cells stay young, clean, and efficient. And here's the really interesting part. Multiple animal studies show that chronic and controlled AMPK activation is linked to increased lifespan. One study published in Cell Metabolism, for example, found that rodents with activated AMPK lived significantly longer, with less inflammation, reduced fat accumulation, and better mitochondrial function. So basically, activating AMPK is like pressing the body's anti-aging button. And berberine is one of the most powerful natural triggers we've discovered so far. Rodent studies and clues about longevity. Now let's talk real-world evidence. What do animal studies actually show when it comes to longevity? One of the most impressive studies was done with mice that were fed berberine for several months. These animals didn't just show better blood sugar control and improved lipid profiles. They also lived longer than the control group. And get this, even the older mice, when they started taking berberine, showed significant improvements in markers of cellular aging. In another study published in Aging Cell, researchers found that berberine increased the expression of genes related to autophagy, that essential cellular cleaning process linked to longevity. It also reduced systemic inflammation, which is directly tied to inflammaging, the chronic low-grade inflammation that accelerates aging. Of course, we have to keep in mind, these are animal studies, and we can't directly apply the results to humans, but the clues are strong and very promising. Science is paying close attention to these mechanisms and getting increasingly excited about berberine's potential. And when we compare this to what we already know about drugs like metformin, which also activates AMPK, The picture gets even more interesting, but that's a topic for the next chapter. Berberine versus metformin. Coincidence or natural alternative? If you've heard of metformin, you know it's one of the most widely used drugs in the world for treating type 2 diabetes. But what you might not know is that it's also being studied as a potential longevity drug. And guess what? Metformin also activates AMPK. Now here's what's really interesting. Berberine, a natural compound, has mechanisms of action very similar to metformin. Several comparative studies show that, in some cases, berberine was just as effective as metformin at lowering blood glucose levels, improving insulin sensitivity, and even reducing LDL cholesterol. An article published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology reported that patients with metabolic syndrome treated with berberine experienced improvements similar to those seen with metformin, but with fewer gastrointestinal side effects. That's why many researchers are now looking at berberine as a possible natural alternative to metformin, especially for people seeking gentler and more integrative approaches. But hold up, that doesn't mean you should stop taking your medication. Always talk to your doctor. The point here is, science is watching berberine very closely, because finding a natural supplement with effects similar to such a well-studied medication is, at the very least, promising. How to use berberine safely and effectively. Now that you understand why berberine is so interesting, let's talk about how to use it. The most common dosage used in studies is 500 milliliters, taken 2 to 3 times per day, usually before meals. That's because berberine has a short half-life in the body, and splitting the dose helps maintain stable levels in the bloodstream. But heads up, even though it's natural, berberine isn't risk-free. It can interact with medications, especially those that affect the liver or glucose metabolism. It may also cause mild gastrointestinal discomfort in some people, like nausea or light diarrhea during the first few days. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, or people with liver conditions, should avoid using berberine without medical guidance. And here's an extra detail. Since it affects the gut microbiome, berberine may also indirectly improve metabolic health. A nice bonus if you're aiming for long-term vitality. That said, the key is always informed moderation. When used wisely, berberine can be a powerful tool in your natural longevity toolkit. Is berberine worth using for longevity? After everything we've covered so far, it's safe to say, berberine is not just another passing trend in the natural health world. It has a solid scientific foundation, works on one of the most studied metabolic pathways related to longevity, AMPK, and its effects go way beyond blood sugar control. We're talking about a compound that improves mitochondrial function, stimulates autophagy, reduces chronic inflammation, and can mimic the effects of fasting and calorie restriction, 2 well-established pillars of a longer and healthier life. Of course, berberine on its own isn't a miracle. It should be part of a lifestyle that includes a balanced diet, daily movement, quality sleep, and yes, good stress management. But if you're looking for a natural way to support your cellular processes and optimize your long-term health, berberine can definitely be a strong ally. Science is still evolving, and many human studies are underway, but what we already know is exciting enough to pay attention. And as always, the key is balance. Knowledge is power, and using that knowledge wisely is the best biohack there is. Exclusive ebook and a special invitation for you. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the world of natural longevity, I've prepared an exclusive ebook with science-backed strategies to help you live longer and better. Inside, you'll discover other natural compounds, daily habits, and small lifestyle changes that have the power to transform your health from the inside out. And the best part? It's all practical and accessible. To download the ebook, just click the link in the video description. Oh, and this video is part of a special series on natural health and longevity. In the next episode, we're diving into another promising supplement that's catching the attention of longevity researchers. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, Hit the notification bell and like this video if it brought you value. And drop a comment below. Have you ever tried berberine? Did you notice any effects? Or do you still have questions? I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.